So last week I repasted this laptop and told you guys that it was overheating and acting funky and the fans were blaring in Taiwan and keeping me awake at night when Phil was editing. And I talked about this laptop cooler that I had gotten long before that and how well it actually worked in gaming scenarios. And I said, if you guys wanted to see me do a video on that, make sure you comment down below and tell me. And a lot of you did. So I brought it in from home. It's chunky. It is not a travel piece, but we're gonna show you today just how well it actually works because I have already used this while gaming. It is actually kind of bonkers how well it works. Anyway, as we move on, I'll put a link to this down in the description. I bought this on Amazon, it's not sponsored. It's by Lelano. Okay, Lloyd. If you're serious about your aim, your mouse actually matters more than people think. And this is Be Quiet's new Dark Perk gaming mouse. Now what I like is that they don't do the usual one shape fits nobody approach. You've got two options, the Sim, which is a classical symmetrical design, and the Ergo, if you want something that actually fits your hand for longer sessions. It's also super lightweight, which makes a bigger difference than people realize, and less fatigue, easier micro adjustments, and just better overall control. And inside you get the PixArt PAW3950 sensor, up to 32,000 DPI, and 8,000 Hertz polling. So yeah, this is top tier tracking and no weird acceleration, no spin outs, and just exactly what you expect your mouse to do. And the clicks feel really nice too. These are optical Omron switches, so they're fast, consistent, and a little softer than the typical click, which is great for long sessions. And then the part that people overlook, it's 100% PTFE skates with rounded edges, which means this thing glides smooth, predictable, and with no drag. Oh, and with up to 110 hours of battery life, so you're not constantly plugging it in. So if you're trying to get every little advantage you can in competitive gaming, this is one of those upgrades you'll actually notice. So check out the Be Quiet Dark Perk mouse in the link in the description below. So I have no idea if this is like a knockoff of something else. When I was shopping for laptop coolers, I looked at like the Razer, which seemed okay, but like, again, required Synapse and all that. This just uses, unfortunately, like I said, it's not the most travel friendly deal. This uses an AC plug because it is a 12 volt fan. It doesn't get power off the almost hit myself in the face. It doesn't get power off the USB, but it does become a hub. This is a USB-C cable that will connect to your laptop, and then you get all these ports on the side right here, allowing you to be able to plug things into this, kind of turning it into almost like a dock. It does have RGB, by the way. The edge glows, it's got RGB, but it's baked into the power. Like these are just capacitive touch buttons right here. And this is how you turn the fan up and down, and it's RPM. You've got these little legs that pop out here that keep the laptop from sliding too far down. You've got these feet on the bottom here, which allow you to adjust well, sort of adjust. You don't really have much adjustment. You have really high, which gets more air into the fan right there, or you can have it down low. But you can see there's like this scoop that's kind of built in, so even if you have it on the lowest setting, it can still pull air in. The only thing I think is odd is that the foam seal is not like glued down. I think it should be glued into place. I don't know why you wouldn't want it to be, but this seal right here, it's very squishy. Look. It's very squishy, but that is actually why we're getting such good temperatures using this thing. Now this is a centrifugal style fan. You also have on the bottom a removable cover for the filter. It's a very thin filter, but it's helping, to reduce the amount of dust that'll be blowing into the bottom of your laptop. But you can see the fan right there, and there's a big warning that says, do not stick your finger into the grill like I'm doing right here. But it's not a very big fan, but because it's pulling air in and then centrifugal style rather than a blade style, the static pressure is pretty nuts with this thing. So what you can get away with without having to run it very high, and it can get pretty noisy if you really want it to. But what I found, and even though I didn't do any noise normalization, I just did the whole like ear dyno test where I'm like, it sounds about the same volume as what this would be like in its quiet mode. The temperatures were absolutely insanely good. Like I said, my friends we were gaming at my house. It was around New Year's. That's how long I've had this now. It was around New Year's. We were gaming at my house. We all brought our laptops. We were kind of reminiscing on the old days when we used to all meet at his apartment, and we all just had our laptops, and there was like 6 or 7 of us playing World of Warcraft. And so there was only a handful of us this time, but everyone's laptop was screaming like a 747, and mine was whisper quiet, and it was the coldest in the room just because of this thing. Now, like I said, I don't know how much it is today. I bought it pre everything going crazy in the world, but I want to say it was around 80 or 90 bucks then. You know what, I'm actually just gonna look it up now. So it's the Lalano V12 gaming laptop cooling pad, RGB laptop cooler, laptop cooling fan stand with 5.5 inch powerful turbo fan for 15.6 to 19 inch laptop adjustable speed, dustproof 3-port USB hub, black RGB. Last purchased December 31st, 2025 at $95. It wasn't cheap. So you can get a no RGB version for 89 bucks. Anyway, it says $95 now. I got it for $91.19 back then. So $4 it went up. I guess that's acceptable for today's.
I don't. 8 kilobytes of RAM in there.
Something, because it's got a PCB, right? So it's got to have some sort of RAM. Okay, let's go ahead and before we do anything with this, let's go ahead and get this thing nice and toasty. So just sitting here at the desktop too, I've done nothing except load 3D Market. It's already hit 84C since I restarted Hardware Info, and it did hit 103 while installing it. Okay, so obviously we have our CPU package and our GPU, which is fine. We can see PCH temperature, that's gonna matter. We can see our DIMM temperatures right now, which we're currently at 44.8. This DIMM is at 41.9. Our dedicated GPU, sorry, it's currently at 38.9. So these are the temps we'll be caring about. Okay, so that's all that matters right there. We'll come back and check those afterward. But we haven't even started the test, and some of those temps were looking a little warm here. It hasn't even rendered anything yet. It's just scanning sensors. What we care about this noise is this noise, right? Now, if I turn the fans down, the temps are gonna go up, obviously. All right, we'll let this go for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. All right, we've been running for about 10 minutes. I know it says 8 minutes and 20 seconds down here, but I had reset the minimums after the test had already started because I wanted to only have this test as part of it. Anyway, core temperatures are about 70C average. Our CPU package is at 77. Our core max hit 72. But it says right here, core thermal throttling, yes, and package ring thermal throttling, yes. So just because those numbers don't look like they're super high, remember, we're dealing with a CPU that's very power limited versus like a desktop variant. It is a 13900HX, by the way. But more importantly, look at the PCH temp. 86, 87, that's like the chipset right there. So it's hit 89, which is kind of crazy. Our RAM is at 61.5 and 54. The 61 is gonna be the one that's under the stack. The way that RAM gets installed in a motherboard on a laptop is one goes in and then another one kind of slots on top of it slightly. So one is being sandwiched between one DIMM and the motherboard. So that's why one of them is, 7.5 degrees hotter. If we take a look here at our drives are doing okay. They're not really doing anything, honestly, with this test, but one's at 38C, one's at 41C. If we take a look here at our GPU, the 4090 right now is currently at 74.6. Our junction temperature is at 86 and our hotspot's at 81. How is our hotspot under? Oh, it's memory junction, sorry. Okay, so our GPU memory is at 86 and our hotspot's at 80. So we're at 175 watts. I feel like I could technically leave this loaded, plug that in, and put it on top and watch the temps come down. But what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna stop the test. We're gonna start it cold. I'm gonna turn that on, let it cool down the entire board. The whole board is heat soaked now. And then we'll see what our new maxes are after that. I'm not gonna be plugging in the USB because I'm not plugging in any keyboards or mice or anything to this, but I would normally. The laptop is just now starting to ramp the fans down, and it's been a couple minutes since I stopped the test. So this is now plugged in. And I'm gonna put the laptop in, starting to ramp back up again. I'll put the laptop in a quiet mode real quick, so I want you to hear the volume of this guy. Now look, to be fair, this thing can be pretty damn loud. This is max speed. It can be loud if you wanted to. It's a bit more velocity than you really need, I think. Just saying. Look at how much it pulls in from underneath. That's just the front where there's no gap. If I do the back, and that's not even with the feet up. So now look at the intake. So you can see. Now we can make it quieter. So anyway, when it comes to the setup, super complicated installation. Are you ready?
Yay!
So, with it full speed with the laptop on it. No one would hear it on an airplane. But because of this seal right here, Like I said, everything underneath the laptop is getting cooled now. So what I'm gonna do now is do the airflow test, and we should see the smoke coming out of the laptop vents only.
Hey, look at that.
Just looks like an NVIDIA product with all that smoke. Okay, we'll do a side-by-side comparison in a moment here, but it's important to note, oh, right when I was about to say nothing has throttled, it just popped up real quick and said there was a quick throttle for only a moment though. Anyway, core temperatures are currently at 59, it's the max. Our core max is at 62, package is at 67, PCH is at 70 currently, max at 73. It's down 17 Celsius from its max 90 that we saw. And then it's currently running at 70, so about 20 C drop overall. That is huge because there's no airflow over the PCH with this cooler design. So clearly it's getting some now. Let's see. RAM is at 44.2 and 38. So that one RAM that's between there is always going to be hotter, but overall they are cooler. And then our drive is at 31C and 35C. And our GPU is currently at 65.6 with a memory junction of 76 and a hotspot of 71. So our GPU might be even like ever so slightly warmer, to be honest. I'll do the side-by-side photos here in a second. What I did in this test was I actually slowed down the laptop fans. The reason why I did that is the laptop fans were still kind of coming up in the performance profile. It's very aggressive. And I wanted to find a speed that I can run those fans, that I couldn't hear them over the more pleasant sound that the laptop cooler is making. So this is kind of where I balanced it out. Now in terms of the acoustics, here is what a sound sample sounds like. So we'll show you a few seconds of the previous run, and then we'll show you a few seconds of the way it sounds now. If I had left those fans where they were, those temps would actually come back down on the GPU. In fact, I'll do that real quick so we can just kind of see what the maximum cooling looks like on this. But as you can hear though, that sound is now louder than the laptop cooler. So and it's at 63.5 and it's trending downward now, as you can see. So it's up to you on how you would want to tune that. Okay, so with the test running right now, it's still running in the background, even though that guard isn't moving, because that's the screenshot right there. I just want to point that out. This is the screenshot, this is the test still running back there. So our core temperatures were at 68. It's at 61 currently. CPU package went from 75 down to 70 to 72. Our maxes though, let's look at this. Our max core temperature was 95, now it's 83. Our max CPU package temp went from 95 to 89, so 6C drop there. Our core max went from 95 to 83. But if we look at the amount of throttle, even for those moments, it throttled 37% on the laptop cooler, the laptop's internal cooler, and only 4% on the, with this cooler attached. So if we go down to PCH, we went from a 90 max and 88 to a 73 max and a 71 currently. So the huge drop on our PCH. If we look at our memory, from 62.5 to 44.8, so almost 20 C drop there, almost like 18 C. And then if we take a look at the second stick, 54.8 down to a 38.2. So our memory is, look, we want to protect our memory today. Protect the memory. Everything else, screw that. Protect the memory, okay? Anyway, if we scroll down here right now, we'll go and look at our drives. Let's see, our first drive right here was at 38C before, and it's now at 31. So that's a 7C drop. Okay, so our D drive went from, where is it? 41C to 35C. So big drop there. And then if we go and take a look at our GPU, a 75.6 to a 65.5, so a 10C drop. Our max went from a 75.7 to a 66.8. Our memory went from an 86 with an 88 max to a 78 and 78. So it's just not fluctuated at all. That's kind of crazy. So we came down 8C on that. Our hotspot from an 82.1 to a 72 or 70, it just went up right there, 71.1, 71.0. A max of 73.1 versus our previous run's hotspot of an 82.9. And then our clocks, they kind of move around as the test goes. But look, the clock right here in the test, because of those temps, was at 1920, and our clocks are currently right now at 1965. And depending on the test, there's 1995 and it 2025. So we're averaging higher clocks as well because of the fact that we are keeping it cooler. And there's the curve, right, that's involved, the temperature curve. Clock to temperature is relational. But I was set to 1300 RPM on here. I went up from 1000 because I wanted to make sure that I was overpowering the fans in the laptop. We have more than double that RPM available to us. So if you're just like, screw noise, we're gonna go ahead and go maximum fans on the laptop. It's crazy that it's still louder than this cooler. Let's see if we can see the GPU temp coming down. 61.9, 61.7, .3, .8, .2, 60, 59.
Wow.
It's pulling it down under load. Come on, you can do it. You did 56.0 a second ago. 55.8 or 55.5. It's still going down. If I charted this over time, you would see it just doing this. But let's go to the other temps real quick. So drive 34 and 29. Oh no, what's our RAM at? 37.8 and 32.8. Our PCH is down to 66, 62, 61. So if you're one of those like min-maxers, it's like, I don't care about the noise, do I actually feel the air coming out of every corner of this laptop right now? But let's check the smoke now.
It's silly out the back.
Nice. Okay, well there you go. You guys wanted to know more about this cooler. It's actually a really good cooler. It's not gonna be silent. It's never gonna be silent. It can't be silent because it's got a fan, right? The palm rests normally got really hot. They're cold. They're cold to the touch. The keys have a little bit of a warm spot over here, like this side, the right side. This is where the GPU is, so there's some more warmth over here. But I actually feel some air coming through the keys. Like, look, I can show you that. There's so much static pressure. There's air coming through the keys. Do you see that?
That's crazy.
There's some tension right there though. But yeah, there's actually air coming through the keys. Right there. So yeah. Look, I know laptops aren't everybody's thing, but you can't deny this cooler works. It's $95, it better work. All right, there we go. If you guys think there's a better product, let me know. This is what I've been using, and I'm cool with it. Like, I like how the CPU shot up to 99C for a moment. That's just the freaking architecture of laptops, but.
It's a 13th gen.
I know. All right, time to get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll see you in the next one.